Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. Dear Evan Hansen, the generation-defining Broadway phenomenon is now a highly anticipated new motion picture that will open in theaters on September 24th. And I caught up with some of the cast and creatives, including Tony, Emmy, and Grammy Award winner Ben Platt, Academy Award winner Julianne Moore, and the film's director, Stephen Chbosky. So enjoy meeting the company of Dear Evan Hansen. Danny, what made being a part of this film so special for you?
Richard, that is such a multifaceted answer. Uh, and the music, the script, the cast, the direction, the cinematography. I mean, it was an embarrassment of riches, really.
Yeah. Okay, being a part of a musical. I mean, this has to be really exciting for you. You got to sing live in this.
It was incredibly exciting. It's been a while since I was able to sing live.
Oh, so you've sung before.
Yes, a little bit, a little bit. I mean, I'm certainly not to the level of Ben Platt, but it was definitely knocking some rust off of the pipes.
So what was it like being a part of this musical? I mean, this is such a beautiful story. I mean, there are so many incredible things that are covered in this that are, that many people are going through. What did it mean to you to be a part of a musical and to be a part of this show?
I think especially now, given the strains of the pandemic, and you know uh, the amount of anxiety and depression and isolation that has been caused by this pandemic, not only for adults, but especially for our youth, for teenagers and adolescents. The timing of this film, uh, I think, is ideal to hopefully continue or to start conversations about mental health, uh, and to hopefully put mental health on par with our physical health.
Yeah. Talk about the role. Larry's such an interesting role, and he's been changed a little bit for the film. What attracted you to play this?
Well, being a father of two teenage boys, it was very personal. It's a very personal journey for me playing Larry, and having to imagine and to make as real as possible the loss of a son uh, by his own hand, and the feelings of loss and regret and shame and anger and despair, and the multitude of emotions that happen, and sometimes one at a time, sometimes all at the same time, and studying that and researching that, going down that path, and realizing that thankfully it was fictional for me, and realizing that there are people out there who, parents and adolescents and communities and schools who are dealing with this every day in reality. And that was profound and impactful on a personal level. But, that message, that understanding, and hopefully contributing to that conversation by playing Larry and by being a part of this film, that was important to me.
Yeah. It was interesting because this film was made during the quarantines, and during the pandemic. So you were all quarantined. And I know, like, what were rehearsals like? And then when you were able to take your masks off, I mean, it must have felt so personal when you finally had those one-on-ones with the other performers that you were filming with. What was that like for you?
Yeah, it was um, it was very isolating, because when you're in rehearsal for, especially for a musical, and especially when you're singing harmony, to be in the same room with other people around a piano and just kind of plunking out the notes and figuring it all out together, that's part of our ritual, and not to have that was difficult, to have this new process of learning your part on your own, and basically either listening to yourself or listening to the cast recording, singing along with the cast, with the original cast, who, by the way, are fantastic, and in a way, doing all of your work in sort of a dungeon, isolated on your own. But then to finally get into a rehearsal space with a mask and hear Caitlin Dever and Amy Adams sing their parts, it immediately awakened the entire process, and the song just flew. I remember getting goosebumps when Caitlin starts her part in Requiem. I was like, oh, this is gonna work. This is gonna work really well. And then when Amy and I started to harmonize, it just started to elevate the entire experience. It was magical that first day that we were all together singing Requiem.
Yeah. Musicals are usually very big. What I love about this film, it's so intimate. It's so personal. It's like we're with all of you when you're going through this. Talk about working with your director, Steven. He's so brilliant. And just the intimacy of this film and what it was like.
It's funny that you would mention that, Richard, because Steven Chbosky is a very intimate director. I mean, you feel the intimacy in the film because that's who he is. And when we first talked about the potential of me playing Larry, it was supposed to be a 20-minute conversation via Zoom, much the same way that you and I are talking right now. And it ended up being about a 2-hour conversation where he's a father, I'm a father, and we were relating to each other and talking about Larry and talking about the movie and the show and the music. But Steven said to me early on that some musicals are a musical with a capital M, and Dear Evan Hansen is a musical with a lowercase m. And I think that's what you experience in watching the film. It's approachable. It's a very human story. The need to be accepted, the need to belong. To a group, to a friendship, to a supportive family. That's a universal experience, and I think that's what Steven, tapped into.
Would you like to come to Broadway, either in a play or in a musical? That's what the BroadwayWorld fans want to know about you. Would you like to come to Broadway?
That's a capital Y, yes.
Would it be a play first? Would you like to tackle a musical?
I'm open to challenges. Larry was a challenge. To sing again was a challenge, but one that I welcomed with open arms. So absolutely, I would love to be on Broadway. I did a little play on the West End early on in my career, but Broadway has always been something that I'd love to experience.
Dear Evan Hansen, today is going to be an amazing day, and here's why.
Have you been doing those letters to yourself with Dr. Sherman?
I've been trying to. Have you ever felt like nobody was there?
No one signed your cast. Now we can both pretend we're friends.
I'm sorry about my brother.
Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? I wish everything was different. Wish I was part of something. Wish that anything I said mattered. Have you ever felt like you could disappear?
Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah, that's mine. I'll just take it. Wait, I need that back. Like you could fall, and no one would hear. Connor took a letter from me, and it was an assignment from my therapist.
Ew.
Even when the dark comes crashing through.
Connor's mother and stepfather here to see you.
When you need a friend to carry you.
Connor wanted you to have this.
And when you're broken on the ground.
Dear Evan Hansen, he wrote it to you.
His last words, Connor took his own life.
Hey, what? I'm sorry, Connor didn't write this.
No, please. It's this.
You will be found.
We didn't think Connor had any friends.
I mean, you really gonna tell these people that the only thing they have left of their son is a letter that you wrote to yourself?
So, you and Connor, tell us something, please.
Right, I started talking.
You couldn't stop.
They didn't want me to stop.
I'm putting together a memorial service. If you wanted to do something,
Connor showed me that I wasn't alone. Nobody is. So let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay.
I didn't know that you were hurting.
'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand,
a lot of people feel like us.
you can reach out your hand.
People started sharing it. It's everywhere.
I don't understand what happened.
You did. You don't know how much you've given my family and me.
Were you ever actually friends with him?
I never meant to make it such a mess. I was trying to help. If you knew who I am, just how broken I am.
I already know you.